Alright guys, I got the heads off. As you can see, we got a piston again. Melted that sucker pretty darn good. And you can see the skirt like that, you know, it's melted a lot of the dome. Other ones seem to be okay, that's just some water down there. You can see some oil got in the water jacket, that's the whiteness. That's alright, we're going to retire this block. I've got the epoxy block sitting up on the stand. We'll take the pistons and rods out of this and put them in that. Obviously we'll change the one piston out. I'm pretty sure that all this is due to the glitch in the Holley system that does the phantom misfire. They call it phantom misfire / rev limit. I'm pretty sure that's what's causing this though, because I did cylinders 2 and 3 last time. This time it's just 3. We'll check the injectors. I'll take them up to Brent and Jamie and have them flow and clean them, just in case that's a culprit. Maybe that cylinder's running lean. I doubt it, but we'll see. But yeah, we got, let's see, today's the 5th, and 12th of December is IFO in Vegas, so that's what we're shooting for. And you guys haven't seen my new trailer yet. I got all kinds of stuff strewn across it at the moment. But we can fit 2 cars in here. It's pretty badass. I've always wanted it enclosed. Took a while to get it. Found a good deal. Now I got it. Alright, that's it for this short one. See ya. Well, I just took delivery of my refresh transmission thanks to Aaron Ginn at Bubba Ginn Racing Transmissions. He put a bell on it for me and completely redid the insides. We got a whole new valve body. We got a 2nd gear leave now. 2 speeds. Oh, so much better looking than it was. So I also don't have to have this stupid plate on there anymore, which is awesome. And then my converter, he reworked that too. So I should have a better, more effective stall. And leaving in 2nd gear, oh, I'm so excited. With the estimates he gave me, I'm even more excited. But if we can get this car to make power and not stutter like it did when it melted the piston, we should put down some passes. So the whole reason that I took the transmission up there to begin with was we cracked the bell on the other, well, on this transmission, but the other bell. So I took it up and it was overdue for a refresh, so had him do that. But some of the other things that I've been doing is trying to get this bay cleaned back up again here. So I got some brush on Rust-Oleum and their gunmetal hammered. So I got that all on there. Looks pretty good. There's still a couple spots here and there, but nothing that I'm overly concerned about. And then there's our old engine. I still got to take the adapters off and all that, clean that stuff up, take the pistons and rods out. They'll go into that engine that's in the bag there. Then we'll hook her back up to that guy, put her all back in the hole. Another thing is the air-to-air, not going back on the car. I'm done with the air-to-air. I've got all the stuff to do my air-to-water setup. TIC Performance Core. I made a lower plenum out of blank Holley hi-hat and a J35 spacer. And then I've taken that down to my buddy Matt Fetty in Pueblo. He runs Rowdy Performance and Machine, and he's come up with his own version to cut out a billet. Sorry about the cars. His own version cut out a billet, so as soon as I get the money to pay for that material, we're going to get that cut, and that'll go on the car. But in the meantime, the prototype that I made will go on. And then the Holley high ram top, Holley Sniper throttle body, 102 mil throttle body. Still going to keep the twin 62 mil turbos for now. I would ultimately like to put a single 76 on it. That is the max for the class. It's either twin 62s or a single 76. At this point, I'd like the single 76. But I don't have the money for that right now. So it's on the back burner. You know, do what you can. I've already done a lot over this off season. This has been an expensive off season. So yeah, we'll get the air to water setup on there. We're gonna put the factory crank sensor that I had in there before, which for you J Series guys, it's a Hall sensor. It's found in the 2003 Acura CL Type S only. This is the only J Series you can get this particular Hall sensor. It works on the first gen J blocks, goes on the same exact position that the mag sensor would. It's the same basic dimensions, but you can't just use it with any reluctor. I'm gonna have to cut my reluctor down, because that's ultimately what caused its failure. Was over time the reluctor cut into it and damaged it, and that's why it wasn't reading properly. So we're gonna fix that. We're gonna chuck the lower crank pulley into a lathe and cut down those teeth. I think by about 10/100ths, I think. Don't quote me on that. I have to measure again. It's been a while. But gain our clearance, because you need to have an air gap, I would say, between the metal and the plastic. The metal of the gear and the plastic of the sensor, you need at least 20 thousandths, I would say. I mean, it's a pretty typical gap, so that's, I think, what we're going to ultimately end up going for in terms of numbers. So that's where that'll be at. We'll keep the Holley stuff on the car, on the front of the engine for now, as a backup in case we incur damage at the track. We got another sensor we can switch over the system real fast. But that's where that's going to be at. Another thing I didn't point out, sitting here looking at it, before in the bay, there was metal that came out here about that far. This wasn't all the way notched. There was still little bits of metal that stuck down, so I cleaned all that up. Cleaned this up all the way up, so now you got plenty of hand room. This used to come out to here, so I got rid of all that. I cut all the way back to the glass. I got to sand that down and make it look better, but yeah, who cares? That's got nothing to do with going fast, right? So, and then I trimmed up all this nice. I've got some seam sealer to put into there. I've got to do that. And then down here is where our hoses are going to go for the air to water. I'd like to not have to put the nitrous on the car, but we're going to leave it in place until we know. We're going to leave it in place until we know for sure what the transmission and converter are going to do for us. Up here is the only place I've needed the nitrous. When I go down to sea level, low elevations period, Vegas, Phoenix, Texas, Indy, didn't need the nitrous. Just, here in Colorado, high altitude stuff. Our DA, most races, our DA is around 9,000. So, and when we're at Pueblo, most races there, the DA is around 7,000. So you can see why it would have a hard time making power, because there's not a lot of good air. So we got that fixed. Hold on. Had to sneeze. So yeah, I mean, we're making progress on Gunmetal here. She's dirty, sitting out in the driveway. I don't like that, but I don't want to go through the trouble of pushing her into the trailer when I don't have a good back for it right now anyway. So she is where she is until we get the drivetrain back in her, which at this point is only going to be hopefully 2 to 3 more weeks, depending on how the weather is maintained around here, and I can get the engine done, at least get the short block done, get all that stuff, and then we can load it in the trailer and then assemble the heads and stuff. That's not as hard, but yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I got some other, knick-knacky stuff. I've got some LED lights I'm gonna put in the engine bay that are white, so that while we're at the track I could turn those on and we can clearly see inside the engine bay, and not have to rely on exterior lighting. And then I got something fun racer I'm putting back on the car. You guys will see it here after I get it all done. Just my little teaser. Getting rid of the M3 style mirrors, because in Nebraska Ice Cream Cruise my glass fell out of my passenger side one, so I haven't really been able to use that mirror to back up, which, it's a race car, not really a big deal. I like having them. So I got some factory style mirrors. They're not OEM, but they're close, and they'll do the job. What else did I get? Got a whole brand new parachute stuff from Motion Raceworks, so I've got a good set of cable on it. I didn't like the one that I bought that was temporary fix. This is a permanent fix, and I got a new handle, so it's up on the upper bar by my head instead of down on the tunnel where it was before. I think that's about it. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna stop rambling. That's my update for now, and I'll let you guys know when we get her all back together. Take it easy. Merry Christmas, New Year, all that stuff.